Deltarune is a really lighthearted and satirical game. I mean, it certainly doesn't hide itself as one. Chapter 1 doesn't get remotely serious until you enter the king's castle toward the very end, and Chapter 2...
having a good time. No one else to get in the way.
Well, I mean, it's Chapter 2. There are a few parts with deep character development, such as Rousey's explanation of how all Darkners technically aren't real, including himself. However, besides these occasional moments, the game does not really take itself too seriously. Despite this characteristic, the game does tend to hint towards a more malevolent character throughout the game, someone known as the Knight. The king mentions this all the way back in Chapter 1, with him saying in his boss fight,
"By the Knight's will, I shall shatter your heart to pieces."
I cooked with that, right? Come on. Sign me up for voice actor or something. He also mentions the Knight as one that pulls the fountains from the earth. In other words, the creator of the fountains that the Lightners are trying to seal. This Knight character is stated to be an important enemy with literal opposite intentions of those of the protagonist. In Chapter 2, Queen's actions and plans of, world domination were also done in admiration of this Knight. In Chapter 3, even Tenna states how his main motive in keeping you distracted through hosting his game show was in compliance of the Knight when he was promised that he would regain his spark if he kept the Lightners busy. These details set up the Knight as the main antagonist of the entire game, and a mysterious one at that. Okay, so this is the only trace of any main antagonist in Deltarune. This Knight. Well, who the hell is the Knight? Let's go back to the initial release of Chapter 2 in 2021. During this time, a bunch of theories started to spread trying to find an answer to this very question. One of the most popular theories was that Chris was the Knight, due to, well, Chris opening a fountain at the end of Chapter 2, but also with the motive that Chris wants to escape the reality of the light world, thus creating these fountains. I feel like that detail is a bit of a stretch, but another interesting detail about this theory is how Chris seems to have already been to and saved in the Dark World. This is shown by their name already being on the save file. If you want to see more about this theory and why it may be wrong, here's a post on Reddit by u/Pokemaster 2824. Pokemaster 28. Of course, all the community could do at this time was speculate, some more confidently than others, at least until the release of Chapters 3 and 4. Chapter 3 starts off as probably the most comical chapter so far. Its setting of a funny game show really shows this, along with the wonderful character of Tenna, who, okay, I don't think I need to explain this anymore. After you beat Tenna's really well-made and honestly overlooked boss fight, you get another deep cutscene about why Tenna acts like how he does. Each character has a heart-to-heart with Tenna about the concept of being thrown away and forgotten. In real life, Tenna is just a TV in Chris's living room, but lately that TV has gone completely unused and has been forgotten about. However, after Susie offers to find a new home for Tenna, he gets really excited. Tenna decides to give back Toriel, and all is prepared for a happy ending. The Lightners quickly run forward, trying to figure out who just violently dismantled Tenna. Here, the tone completely changes, as this strange dark figure is revealed on screen. It turns around and it slumps over and something starts leaking from its head. Almost like it's drooling. The figure mutates into an orb before floating away, and the Lightners chase after it. The roaring Knight. Oh, it's the Knight. Oh, shoot.
Oh! Now? What? It's the Knight!
The Roaring Knight appeared! Who is this dude?
The Roaring Knight appeared. Raft, do something! It's the Knight, so it's not Chris!
That's like a machete. Oh my god!
You are thrown straight into a fight with the Roaring Knight, and you are shown just how powerful and merciless it truly is. Its attacks are ruthlessly difficult, ranging from insane reaction time tests to attacks that I don't even think anyone likes. You quickly find that acting is only useful for speeding up your soul's speed, but any form of communication with the Knight proves to be futile. You look at the mercy bar, and, well, that's clearly not an option. With no other choice left available to you, you press the fight button and find that your attacks against this enemy are about as powerful as a joke I have yet to fill in the script, and now I'm staring at a blank line. Aren't I so creative? Like, look at this. I never filled in this joke. You probably won't win this fight, especially not on your first try. Chances are you'll get knocked down in about 3 hits, especially after finding out that in only one, your allies are at negative 999 HP. Eventually, everybody falls, but interestingly enough, you don't receive a game over. The story proceeds, and the knight tries once again to abduct Toriel before being cut off by Undyne. What the hell? The chapter ends after you and Susie run after the knight and Undyne in the light world before being sealed outside of a bunker. So how'd that turn out for you, huh? You did just great, didn't you? Yep. By this point, you'll probably just move on and assume that your loss against the knight was just scripted and supposed to happen. I mean, come on, you're not beating that fight. You know better. What are you doing? Are you reloading? Are you... Dude, you're not gonna win. You're not... You're delusional. You're delusional! So, if you choose to go back and fight the knight again, the game does nothing to stop you. However, the game does acknowledge your attempts. If you die again after your first retry, you once again don't get a game over. Instead, the mysterious text shown throughout the game returns to question your decisions. It lifts your soul up before saying, "Very interesting. Your loss here is all but guaranteed. And yet, you persist. If you are so determined to try once more, then shall we hasten?" If you agree to, then you restart right back at the start of the fight. The knight roars, and off you go. Okay, we know what to expect. Let's lock in. We got this. Come on now. If you die again, the text will return and warn you, most likely. It will say, "Very interesting. You are missing something important. You won't win like this. Still, will you persist?" There is something very important you're likely missing by the time you reach this point. The item the text is hinting toward is the Shadow Mantle. If you don't have the Shadow Mantle during this fight, you can die in as few as 2 or 3 hits. Most attacks won't kill you that quickly, but some attacks still do crazy amounts of damage without the mantle. If you want to retrieve this mantle, there are a bunch of steps as to how to get it that I won't really get into in this video. It's not too relevant. But the point is that you will be fighting a losing battle without it. Unless you're stupid like me. Come on. Come on, we're not making our lives easy. Come on now. Before we start analyzing the fight itself, I want to take a moment and talk about the amazing blessing from Toby Fox that is the Deltarune soundtrack, but more specifically, the boss theme for this fight, called Black Knife. This is probably the most aggressive and intense boss theme we've... Holy crap, did I use... Stop, look at this. Scene? When did I write... It was probably late at night. This is probably the most aggressive and intense boss theme we've seen in the UTDR universe yet. Let's listen to other boss themes for comparison. When listening to Undertale's boss themes, most of them are pretty intense and bumpy, but they're not necessarily chaotic in any way. They match the tone of, hey, you're fighting someone, good luck, but they mostly depend on who you're fighting. That's why a lot of them are absolute bangers. This even applies to Undertale's hardest bosses like Sant and Undyne. Battle Against a True Hero is a very valiant and heroic song, and Megalovania is... I'm genuinely not sure how to describe this, I'm gonna be honest. Deltarune is not too different in this matter, with the King's boss theme being heavier and more aggressive, and Queen's being... less. TV Time, Tenna's boss theme, sounds a lot like the background music of a game show. It's still intense as a boss track should be, but it focuses more on the theme of the enemy. With that in mind, let's listen to the Knight's boss theme. So this track is incredibly different compared to the other boss themes we've heard. If the other boss themes say, "It's time to fight," this one says... The only boss theme in the Undertale universe that is remotely similar to this one is Your Best Nightmare. And if you forgot, that's the one where you're fighting this fella. I mean, he's kind of cute. Sup fellas, editing Nick here. Turns out I completely forgot to mention Burn and Despair. It's... pretty much, actually, it's really similar to Black Knife, which is a very interesting detail, but I forgot to mention that. Very intense song as well, and I really wonder why they're so similar, but, we won't know yet. Let me know in the comments. Hey, what are your theories? Hey, I don't know. Black Knife being the first thing you hear when you start this fight is by itself a warning that you're about to have a bad time. Hey, you get it? A bad time? And if you don't believe that, Well, the attacks will certainly demonstrate. Speaking of the knight's attacks, let's analyze each one and, well, how they make your life hell. By now, if you're truly as persistent as the text implies, you will try again and begin to learn the knight's attacks. The knight has 5 attacks that it will cycle throughout the fight. The first of these is this crystal attack, in which the knight sends a barrage of crystals that scatter about the bullet board. These crystals retract back, and then... if these hitboxes weren't so forgiving, this attack would be nearly impossible to do hitless. The second attack is actually pretty simple. These swords will dash towards the soul one by one in various directions. This attack alone wouldn't be too difficult, but it's really an example of why you may want to get the Shadow Mantle before truly attempting this fight. Each sword can easily wipe out one of your teammates without the mantle, meaning you can die in 1 to 3 hits depending on your health going in. The third attack isn't too hard, but... bro, it slices the box in half. This perfectly shows just how ruthless the knight is. It will shatter the bullet board and use its debris to destroy all of your hopes and dreams just as a move!
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
The fourth attack is... oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no. This attack is very similar to Sans' final attack, which... okay, let's just think about how Sans' final attacks, which are major choke points in Undertale, are simply reused as just regular attacks for this knight. Sans' maximum strength is just a light pack for the knight. That's just insane. The fifth attack is probably the easiest, as it's mostly just a reaction time test. I'm not saying that it's easy, just that if you're decent at the other attacks, this one's probably just a break for you. You simply have to move out of the way of these red indicators before the knight slashes. The slashes do grow in quantity, but not to a very extreme extent, and you do still typically get a lot of safe room. If you make it past this point, congratulations! Now do it all over again. Oh, and the attacks are harder now. Yeah, good luck. You got it. Get going. Remember the quest... I'm not even going to restart. Let's try again. Remember the crystal attack? Now they home in on you. That's always fun. Oh, and the little sword dash attack? Yeah, there's a little sword ring around you that limits your room and has crazy hitboxes for some reason. Have fun with that as well. The bullet board slash attack now allows for a change in direction at any time, forcing the player to focus not only on dodging the shards, but also on the red indicator that shows what direction the knight will slash in next. The sword hallway turns into a wheel, which is arguably a lot harder than the hallway alone, at least until you learn it, and who knows how long that'll take. And that's still there. Not getting rid of that. The reaction time attack consistently slashes in 8 directions before... so let's be grateful that attack, just gives you so much time to figure it out, because if it didn't, however, chances are that after you finish this attack, the knight will start to glow and give you a free turn. You carefully choose your next action. Since the original release of Undertale, these types of attacks are often present in secret bosses. They are often the boss's strongest attacks, hiding your health and covering the entire screen. I would honestly say that out of all of the others that hold this attack format, the Knight's is certainly my favorite. Not only is it the hardest, with the hitboxes of the crystals being incredibly unforgiving and the sporadic, unpredictable patterns, but the amount of aura this thing farms with that one swing alone is crazy. It shows that the Knight is powerful enough to bend the typical rules of the fight. The Knight easily takes advantage of the UI with just its sword alone, not only attacking the protagonist, but manipulating the UI used by the player. Now doesn't that sound familiar? It is possible to die at this attack. It's not very forgiving, actually. The only reason I survived it first try was because it isn't too different from something like Asriel and Undertale, which I have spent way too much time playing. But if you do survive this attack, well, then you've won. Just one final blow and... wait, you've done it. Holy crap, wait, maybe something will happen. Oh my gosh. Wait, maybe you'll get the good ending. You beat the main antagonist the whole game as early as chapter 3. Maybe... So, the dude was aura farming the entire time. lets you get a couple hits on it before getting bored and annihilating your entire crew. And as for Chris, Chris knows better. Be humble. Sit down. There you go. After this, the knight approaches Toriel, attempts to abduct her, and yeah, this is when it sets in as the cutscene plays out the exact same way. You don't win this fight. After all the effort to get to this point, it didn't even matter. You achieve your rewards. Just more pieces to the puzzle, but no true victory. There are some differences upon completing the fight. Rousey seems to be losing hope in his dialogue, stating how their suffering is only just beginning. All Rousey can do is just fear, thinking about how they're going to move on from here, knowing their foe is way more powerful than them. Okay, you technically already knew that, but that's another topic. The knight, yet again, abducts Undyne, flees to the bunker, and you end Chapter 3 the exact same way as normal. You still probably feel pretty accomplished nonetheless, but the protagonists you just put through hell probably don't. That interaction is only our first experience with Deltarune's main antagonist, the Roaring Knight. We see its attack patterns, its ruthless and merciless intentions, and the fact that we do not stand a chance against this guy. Yet, at least. From its ominous first appearance to its relentless boss fight and the incredible chaotic boss theme that's right along with it, this is certainly one of my favorite antagonist introductions in any game I've played lately. But what do you think? How did you react to the Roaring Knight's first appearance? Were your theories disproven? Did you beat it? Let me know in the comments below. But as for me, I'm done talking. Thanks for sticking around and listening to me yap for this long. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider leaving a like, it helps more than you think, as does commenting and subscribing if you think I earned it. But it's your call at the end of the day. If you're watching this video around the time of its release, this is one of the first videos on this channel, so any feedback is very welcome. This is also only one of 3 videos I've uploaded upon releasing this channel, so there's 2 others on screen if you're interested. I will also be doing several polls and posts asking for feedback there, so be on the lookout for those. Once again, thank you for making it this far, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, my friends.